Hello, my name is Bre-Anna Owusu. I'm a third-year Ph.D. student in the Neuroscience department at McMaster. I've been the TA for McMaster's Life Science research-based learning courses since 2018, and I'm here to help you survive your thesis, your project, or your practicum. The first step to completing a successful research project is knowing your why. Why do you want to conduct research in a lab? Are you interested in a certain area of research and you just can't wait to learn more about it? Are you looking for reference letters for grad school or medical school? Or maybe your reason is simple. You just want to see what being a researcher is all about. Once you find your why, you need to start thinking about multiple research topics. Choose an area that interests you. This seems a bit self-explanatory, but sometimes it can be a daunting task. When you're interested in your topic, you will enjoy your work. First, brainstorm general areas of interests. These can be very broad, for example, cell biology, cognitive neuroscience, molecular biology, genetics, immunology, bioinformatics, oncology, the list goes on and on. Once you have chosen multiple areas of interest, rank your top 3 from your least favorite to your favorite. Once this is done, you can move on to the next step. Start researching who you might want to contact about 4 months before the start of the semester. Professors are normally extremely busy all year round. Browse McMaster's program pages and check out the faculty profiles. Oftentimes, you'll see their research interests, and if anything jumps out at you, click on their profile and read more about them. Once you've developed a list of potential supervisors who work in an area of your interest, start reaching out to a few graduate students who are supervised by them. You can even reach out to former students who have already graduated. Talking to these students in advance is a great way to get a sense of your potential supervisor's style of supervising. Are they readily available, moderately available, or do they take on more of a macro-management supervising approach? You'll be able to see if their style of supervision aligns with your learning needs. Talking to current and former students can save you time and energy when you start contacting potential supervisors. Graduate students might be able to let you know right off the bat that their supervisor is just way too busy to take on another student. But also, talking to these students can build your confidence, as you won't be diving right into the deep end without any background knowledge about your potential supervisor. Once you have all the background information you need, now is the time to begin drafting emails and releasing them from your draft messages section into their inboxes. Start contacting them about 3 months before the start of the semester. In this email, you want to get straight to the point. Be sure to address them formally. In other words, use the prefix Dr. Introduce yourself and briefly explain the reason why you are emailing them. Next, explain why you're interested in their research. If you have read an interesting paper from their lab, you can very briefly talk about this, or maybe ask a question you might have about the paper. Lastly, ask them if it's okay to send along your CV and unofficial transcript. Some professors like to have these 2 pieces of information, while others don't need them at all. However, just be sure to ask before attaching them to the email. Now the waiting game begins. Don't take it personally if you don't get a response back right away. You can politely send a follow-up email after 1 week if you have not yet received a response. Remember, professors are busy. They teach numerous classes, conduct their own research, write papers, and tons of other things that can take up most of their time. Be patient, and that's why it's important to start early. Once you have secured a spot in a lab, work with your supervisor to refine your research topic. Once you have agreed on a research topic, draft a proposal. You'll be receiving more information how to draft a proposal during the semester. If you're conducting your own research instead of an ongoing research project, you will most likely need to submit an ethics application. Start this application as soon as you are clear on your methods and objectives. If this is your first application, it might take around 2 to 3 weeks to complete. Once you have submitted the application, the average wait time to hear back from McMaster's Ethics Committee is around 1 month. Normally it takes about a week to address the comments that the committee gave you. Once you address these comments, the wait time for approval decreases significantly. At this point, reviewers are able to approve your application within days. Depending on your project, you won't be able to start collecting data until your application has been fully approved. Since you'll likely have a month until you hear back from the Ethics Committee, use this time to write your literature review. Parts or all of your literature review can serve as your introduction section for your final report. You will receive more information about this writing process throughout the semester. The next step is to design your experiment. Again, you will have to work closely with your supervisor and most likely other members of the lab for this part of your research. Now the fun begins. Depending on the project, data collection can either be the easiest part of research or the hardest part. Sometimes you will have to modify your design multiple times before collection runs smoothly. But don't be discouraged, this is all part of the research process. The next step is to analyze your data. Don't be discouraged if you don't have any significant results. This happens all the time. And plus, there's always something to learn from your results, even if they don't turn out to be significant. Now you have entered the last part of your research experience, the writing portion. Ideally, you want to start writing from the beginning of your experience. Set aside 1 or 2 days a week for writing. Researchers often spend a lot of designated time reading, but not enough time writing. For projects that don't require analyzing any results, start thinking about your poster and how you can present your project to a lay audience without any jargon. After you have successfully completed your thesis, your project, or your practicum, rest. You definitely deserve it. Congratulations on surviving your independent study.